course, we are going to get into game one. We'll see exactly what happens. I mean, I believe every game that Tundra's won throughout 2 or 3 of the DPC so far have been under 30 minutes. And of course, they did lose that one single game against OG, but ended up winning the series 2-1 anyway. But every win has been roughly 25 minutes. So this could be their longest duration win if they were to win this game one. Or it could not, John, because, you know, Medusa doesn't necessarily need to farm. Like 33, he's that kind of guy that goes for all these weird item builds, and I'm sure he's about to show us something a little bit special here on the Medusa. Mind you, he's going to start with just farming up the Phylactery, which is, I suppose, pretty standard for offlane Medusas right now, but you get my point. I don't think they need to farm forever, this team, but they could if they want to. It is Tundra. We have no idea.
It could go either way. I think for D1 Hustlers, they're the ones that have a little bit of pressure to hit this timing, right? Like with Magnus, kind of enough for Blink, get your team fight going. You have to really work this lane up against Skitter. Feels like this is Void. Level 1 to 2, maybe not the best. Level 3 onward, it'll be pretty hard to figure you out. A little bit of poking back and forth here on the runes, but not too much excitement early on, although...
Oh, 33, bit of a chase. Everyone's just kind of missing their abilities, no problem.
It happens, you know.
Theolacore, going to be a little bit annoying on the Keeper of the Light, it seems. Will show up and try to harass Saxa a little bit, but he's going to cop a bit more damage than anticipated, I believe, as... Well, Saxa will just chase him down now. I mean, Flame Break is back up in 3 if you really wanted to keep going, but the Coddle moves quite quickly, so you'd rather not. And there you go, that's the start of the game. Jonathan, mid lane, will start there. It's going to be a Pango versus Void Spirit matchup, so 9 versus Xantic. Now, in terms of heroes, forgetting about the players, you'd imagine the Void Spirit should have somewhat of an advantage. In fact, hold that thought, because bot lane, first blood already coming out. Hakoda going down on the silencer to Saxa, but they do get 33 on the Deucer down as well.
It's a lot of commitment. You're happy enough with the early kill. You get some activity out from Shad. Does get one permanent Agi up. They will bring back Hakoda and send Theolacore up top through the gate. And this lane for Shad while we're down here it's going to be a little bit interesting. You can punish the Batrider a little bit by jumping in, but it does feel like the damage output as levels go up. This is not a lane that you really want to poke too hard in. Like Silencer, as we heard the panel say, it's not really the best counter to Batrider. You're not spamming out sticky napalm. You're just throwing out Flame Break and right-clicking with your stats. You're a universal hero. You have a lot of damage early on. Napalm's almost unnecessary to really dominate a lane.
Quite literally is. And Shad's really copping it here. Forced to pounce away, but Sax is doing a very good job of just zoning them out. Which is saying something, because he's against the Silencer Slark lane, but with the backup of 33 who can just throw out a Mystic Snake here and there, it's actually a lot of kill threat. Like, you can't stick around for the creep wave. This top lane, we can have a gander at that as well. Snaking getting rather low himself on the techies, but he's going to be fine to back his way out. Of course, you do have Skitter there on the Pos 1 Void against Vailama on the position 3 Magnus. For now, Skitter looks like he's having a pretty free time on the Void.
I don't think he's going to be shoved away. Once he has level 2 time walk, if he even wants that in this lane, he should be pretty set to just keep farming up. The kill threat coming out from D1 Hustlers with the Vailama, not that high. You do have some counterplay here with a Coddle, in the sense that you can interrupt Blast Off with Blinding Light. So that is one way to cut off Snaking's aggression, but the timing has to be on point, and how close you really want to be here for the Coddle it's a different question there.
That it is. After that bottom lane, Hakoda forced to pop a salve. Shad, trying to get some CS in, is going to make a jump in with half HP here against Saxa. Still takes more damage than he gives here to the Batrider as they chase him down just a little bit. 33 not able to chase too far, but you're more than happy to just keep dominating the lane the way it is. Shad, he just can't get close. Like, this is the thing with this Pos 3 Medusa. Like, you're just going to keep spamming this Mystic Snake, and he has Phylactery, I believe, on the way. So this damage is going to really start to get a little bit wild here for Shad. And we're going to see it very soon, because 33 does have it on the courier, I think, though. No, that was actually the Batrider courier, never mind. But nevertheless, it's coming soon is my point, John. It's coming.
It gets really painful. It gets really painful for Shad. Like, Saksa just tops up, steals away the Lotus, with the lane shoved in, fully topped up once more, can just keep spamming the spells. There's not too much you can do to relieve the pressure on this Luck. This is a really slow lane for Shad.
Llama. Top lane. Maybe not dying. Skidder not getting very lucky with the time lock. It's Divine Llama going to be just fine, but look at the HP pools top lane. Like Theolacor and Divine, they are both very, very low and snaking. He can threaten both their lives now. Like, he's got the level 1 blast off. Once you hit level 3 on the techies, the damage does get pretty damn high with level 2 Sticky Bomb. And Divine Llama, he moves back in, just trying to get some CS off. But I don't think you can get close right now. They'll try to threaten with the large camp ball, but Theolacor is in danger. Sticky Bomb going to land on Divine instead, but Snaking doing a very good job of just not allowing this large camp to be pulled.
This is why Techies is just a first phase ban. The hero does so much in your lanes. It has that flexibility between 4 and 5, although it tends to be the 4. Skewer back
nice
is there.
Back. Snaking. He does have the healing Lotus. Not going to bother popping it. Would have died anyway. So a very nice skewer from Divine. Well, sadly for Snaking, never able to get the blast off Sticky Bomb combination off. At the very least, though, the damage already feels like it's been done. Like, Skidder's been free farming. Divine's not been having the greatest time. Meanwhile, bottom lane, a bit of a chase now onto Saksa. Saksa, slowed up by the curse, has no Firefly available either. And eventually Shad should have his way with him. Saksa, Firefly in 1, is not going to be able to juke out the Slark yet, but we'll go onto the high ground. Shad has Pounce in 4, but doesn't want to pop it. You don't really want to bother anyway, because you don't want to get stuck on the high ground. So Saksa's just fine. He'll just walk away. In fact, he's going to run right back into Hakoda. Meanwhile, mid lane, Xantic's in trouble. He's going to survive just barely to the swashbuckle damage of 9. The rotations are still coming in mid lane from the bottom lane. Now Hakoda's going to find our Batrider, so Saksa's back on the run. But they don't get anything out of this. Saksa, he just runs away again.
Alright, but though a solo lane for 33, he's not under threat from Shad all alone. They are starting to clump around here, though.
Fighting over the power rune they are. Saksa will stick around. Theolacor getting extremely low now on the Keeper of the Light, and he might just be dead. Sticky Bomb will land. Theolacor going to be left to just die on his own, as the Xantic's the one in trouble now. He's one creep away from level 6. He gets it just in time, but it may not be in time. He'll jump in onto Saksa. He's got the Batrider down, going after the power rune. And Xantic, he'll get away with it. They can't take him down. He got that XP just in the nick of time.
That is very much on the edge for Ed Xantic. A little bit of a faster 6 for 9, but does manage to soak up, get that movement out, get some punishment onto Saksa. So he's feeling all right. He's dragging a lot of tension down to mid. This is freeing up the side lanes a bit. You're still getting pretty decent farm from Tundra, regardless of that lack of supports.
Well, Divine Llama now in trouble top lane. Saksa with a very nice rotation on the Batrider, and eventually he will just take the kill with the Firefly. Meanwhile, Snaking in trouble. He's pretty darn far south, trying to steal the Wisdom Room away from D1. They actually end up getting away with it. Theolacor was in position to pick it up right on the 7-minute mark, and well, sadly for Snaking, he gives his life away for nothing.
Doesn't quite pan out, but again, you're dragging attention away from elsewhere. Saksa's free to gate down bot, and Shad.
Oh, Shad. He just used his Pounce for this. Saksa with a very nice block, and now Shad just has nowhere to go. Meanwhile, mid lane 9 is going to go down. And Xantic doing a pretty damn good job of getting himself out of there safely as well. No punishment for the Void.
Yeah, just in and out. That is something that this lineup can't really punish on Tundra's end until you start to get more levels up. Like, you can threaten with Chrono, you can threaten with an extent Stone Gaze. Lasso is going to be a really big tool from Saksa. But for the most part, you don't have just 3 spells to keep spamming out to stop. Xantic should be able to get that momentum going for D1 Hustlers. And the punishment isn't straightforward. Mid.
Yeah, Arcane Rune was being saved for Xantic there by Hakoda, but the Snaking just decides to deny it off instead. Shad's still being chased down by Saksa. Like, he's turned into such a threat on the Batrider. I suppose it does go back to what we talked about earlier, like the fact that he's a universal hero, and he just doesn't need to try and abuse Sticky Napalm in the laning stage. Just makes it so you can get a little bit more out of this bat, and Well, Saksa, he's been such a nuisance already this game. They are moving down bot lane. They want to try and maybe pick off 33 here, but even Skid has shown up on the Void. Chrono is up. Theolacour is going to reveal himself with the Illuminate. But Tundra will not make the jump in, realizing that there's probably a lot of heroes down at the bottom side of the map. They will just walk away from this. And I suppose it's just fine.
It's just a little bit of time wasted in the end. You're not losing out on too much. You get a little bit of room out for snaking to soak at top lane. Level 5 now in the techies. Get a little bit of farm going as well on that hero. The panel did mention maybe the greedier nature of Tundra's draft. They are finding room to still kind of enable that. And for the side of D1 Hustlers, they are starting to catch up. There are some stacks that Vailama's clearing out, not being contested by the side of Tundra. So you can kind of still hit your timings here on the Magnus.
Well, they missed the 8th Remnant on 9. So don't bother continuing as bottom lane now. Shad in trouble again to Saksa. Saksa will just not leave the man alone. And he will secure the kill again. And that was completely solo from this Batrider. It's pretty revolting how a bat can just chase you. He's one level ahead of the Slark now, John. Like this POS 4 Batrider's out leveling their POS 1 Slark. His mid lane. Jump in, Hakoda in trouble. Snaking also not doing too well right now as Zantic does take him down. It'll be a 1-for-1 trade between the two teams. In comes Saksa now, level 6 on the bat. Almost level 7. And I will reiterate, John, Shad is currently level 5 on the Slark.
Yeah, it's a rough time. Like, Shad was just completely focused down bot with constant aggression. And again, the Slark, it's a good solution, but your saves don't feel amazing here. And the punishment is kicking in. Tundra in a very strong position now. 6-6, a 4K lead standing for themselves. They've gotten a lot of farm onto 33. Phylactery fully done. Travel's up next. Skitter's onto the Midas, I believe, flying out with a Maelstrom coming through. So set for a really farmy game. What D1 Hustlers are getting out of this is really just space for the Vailama. Right? Like, they're investing heavily on the Magnus. They're trying to get this build up into that Harpoon to get some play for themselves here. And you also need your support 6s. 6 does come out for Hakoda. Global Silence at the ready. There's some team fight. There's some engagements that you can take pretty safely now in Hustlers, and they'll go for a smoke play.
Yeah, they want to try and abuse that Global Silence straight off the bat, and they seem to know where the Void is. Like, he was just farming the top creep wave. So they know Skid is probably around here farming this area. They should be able to catch him out. Global Silence, it's going to be popped immediately. The jump is there as well. And Skidder, he's got no time to use the Time Walk. But in comes 9. He'll go for a bit of a trade attempt here onto Hakoda. No Rolling Thunder required yet. Theolacour also being chased down here by Saksa, but Divine Llama is waiting in the tree line for that right moment, but misses the skewer. Won't find Saksa with it. So ultimately for D1 Hustlers, a pretty successful engagement. Picking off that POS 1 Void for the sake of their position 5 silencer. You can't be upset with that. The snaking now could also find himself in a bit of danger if Zantic wanted to make the jump in, but he only has one Astral Step charge. Meanwhile,
33.
bottom lane, 33. Underneath the tier 2 tower, Shad's going to try and jump in and fight here against the Medusa. 33, getting a little bit low on mana now, will get jumped by Zantic. That should be another great kill to come out here for D1. As they will lose Theolacour. In fact, Chrono comes out, Skidder. He's just in time. 33 sticking around. He's got the mana now to fight back, and Divine Llama, he's going to get the hell out of there. Oh, Tundra. Perfect timing.
Just a little stall out coming out from 33. Holding on to the wand charges, getting one last Mystic Snake right before dropping entirely with very low HP and no mana at all. And they get the rotation. Tundra, very good move up there. Just a great use of all the spells. Like, every single movement from 33 lining up. The usage of the Stone Gaze, now getting some punishment down mid as well.
On Zantic, he's got 2-step charges. He should be just fine to get himself out of here. He's trying to slow them down. A tier 1 tower, it is gone. There is no defending it. 13 minutes in, Tundra will pick up the first mid-tier 1 tower as they are now 8k ahead, John. Big problems here for the side of D1 Hustlers. There's mid lane. Snaking going to be jumped here for a moment, but it's not going to lead to too much. He's going to be just fine. I say that towards the south. Hakoda, he's probably not going to be too fine as he's just being chased down here on the silencer. And he is gone. Thealacor, he will be following his friend to the grave as well. There'll be 2 to go the way of 9 as Xantic. He's going to jump in very aggressively. He's still going. Picking off Snaking for 1, but now he's out of mana. Oh, I'm not sure about that at Xantic. I mean, it looks stylish, but that's about all it did. There's Divine Armor. He's going to drop as well. Just one by one they come and one by one they fall.
You're just ripping them apart. You are getting some space out for Shad to farm up on that Slark, but we saw what happened when you jumped 33, right? Like, those were 4 heroes onto the Dusa. Without the Slark with Diffusal, 33 is just free to do what he wants. And then the follow-up engagements, again, Shad's not ready. Diffusal's still not up. They're just following him. They're stalking the Slark.
It's just such domination. I mean, these are the TI-11 champs, to be absolutely fair. Like, you kind of expect this kind of playstyle from Tundra, but my goodness. They're making it look a little bit too easy, I think. There's 9. Takes a wisdom rune for himself. Divine Llama. Trying to fight it out. He's going to skew it towards 9. Still chasing. Thealacor looking for that solar bind. If he can get it. RP's committed. They lost vision for a moment and 9's just going to TP. Skewer. Very nice. Just in the nick of time. 9's still in trouble. Swashbuckle away. It's not enough. That was a very close call. You even heard the end of the TP sound. But not quite close enough for the Pango.
Some good punishment coming out from the Hustlers. So you get a very big streak out in 9. You get it on a hero that you really want that build up on. The Vilam is still lacking that full harpoon. So it's worthwhile to kind of just find that in exchange for your wisdom rune being taken away. On the side of Tundra, they're still in a commanding position this game. I don't think you're too worried about dropping a kill like that in 9, but you have to watch those opportunities for the Hustlers. You can bounce back off these solo pickoffs rather fast. And again, once Davai Lama's set, we've seen the effect of that harpoon and skewer back. It is pretty easy to displace some of these heroes and find yourself those pickoffs to keep rolling back into the game.
Snaking, jump in is there. Xantic every single time will take it. They're snaking, avoiding the Illuminator now. Saksa has shown up. Lasso's there. Skid has moved in. Global Silence has been committed. Xantic, he goes right back into the Void, but he has the Astral Step charge. He's going to be okay as he's still trying to TP out and he's going to be fine. No time lock to come in from Skidder. No luck for the Void. And somehow everyone from D1 Hustlers gets out of there.
It does cost them the Global Silence to bail out. So you've got a free fight lined up for yourselves on Tundra. Chrono's still ready for Skidder as well, if they want to take a bigger engagement here.
Shad, he's going to go into the Shadow Dance. Rolling Thunder only committed for 1 stun, but that's 1 stun that's more than enough here as Shad. He's got nowhere to go. Snaking will pick him off. Meanwhile, towards the west, they will lose Saksa. That's a wicked 6 streak going the way of Hakoda of all things in the +5 silencer. Nevertheless, though, you do get yourself a nice pickoff.
You find yourself a bigger pickoff here for the side of D1 Hustlers. You're sacrificing Shad, sure, but the streaks again on Tundra are a lot higher. That priority does work itself out, even though the heroes that are finding it, probably not the best heroes to get that gold. You do get utility out from Hustlers, with Hakoda getting that farm, straight into the Force Staff, going for a quick refresh, understanding that they need that Global Silence as much as possible to take these fights. I don't mind that build up too much. The Force Staff alone should be enough to bail out. You already have the Pavis up and running on Thealacor anyway for some protection. So you've got some tools on hand now to bring some fight back onto Tundra. This gap is still worrying though. Like, Shad at 5.7k net worth, or barely above Saksa. Not the news you want to see there.
Mid lane, they've got a silence off here into the Void Spirit. He's going to be okay. High fives up. That was 33's Orchid that was committed on the Medusa, and that'll be the reveal against Xantic. Meanwhile, they do head towards the bottom lane. They have smoked up as 3. Nobody from Tundra is around this area. And now Tundra smoke up as 3. Seeing that Shad is farming the bot lane, they are going to head exactly that way, so it could be a big team fight to break out. But in terms of the numbers, D1 Hustlers have got the advantage by 1. Though not for long, because Shad is going to get caught out first, but he gets the Shadow Dance off in time. Rolling Thunder is there, but no. Global Silence does come out first, and now it's Xantic with a 3-man Astral Step. He'll commit all of it immediately. Saksa, he'll at least get the lasso off. He's found it, Xantic. Can they keep it going? Divine Llama, he'll drag snaking away. Meanwhile, the Chrono was committed onto the Slark. Shad's gone. A complete mess of a team fight. But it's a 2 for 3, the way of D1. Only problem is they lost both their POS 1 and 2.
I mean, again, you're gaining a little bit more here for Hustlers if you check that fight recap. Even with your 2 cores dying, they still gain gold with how big these streaks are on Tundra, with how far ahead Tundra is. They've got to, again, measure themselves a little bit here. Really good steps coming out there from Xantic. Again, your control for the Void Spirit is rather limited. You kind of have to line up the Chrono. Skitter just not there in time to line up the Chrono onto the Void Spirit, which should lead to different results. But the same thing goes for Hustlers. You don't have that straightforward solution for 33. Like, if this Deuce is just standing there and your Slark is just melting, you can't expect yourself to actually drop the Deuce down anymore. She has very low HP, but 1.6k mana, more than enough to sustain here.
Snaking. Harpoon into the skewer back is there. 5 heroes from D1 Hustlers around, so they will not try and intervene Tundra. They will just split the map completely. Skitter in the mid lane kind of being watched right now by D1 Hustlers. They haven't got Global Silence though, so it might be a little bit challenging to try and make the jump in. Instead, bottom lane, 9. Messing around with Shad, but Shad is going to be able to just pounce away. 9 will not bother trying to pop the Rolling Thunder and chasing him down. It's 20 minutes in, 14 to 18, but the net worth lead has lowered quite a bit, now down to 5k. Problem is, you look at 33, and you look at Skitter, both of them are highest net worth on the board, and they are still farming at an exponential rate as Saksa. Mid lane, not going to be able to find the jump in on Divine Llama. We'll have to leave the Magnus go. It's kind of my point though, like in terms of scaling, you'd have to argue Tundra do have the much better scaling kind of draft. Just based on the fact that they have Medusa and Void. And they are both still the top of the net worth board.
For sure. Like, you don't have a solution right now for any of these 2 heroes. If they are clumped up, we haven't seen them be able to address these 2 as well outside of laning phase. And that is the concern going forward. Like, it does feel like it's going to be down to Shad being able to stand there and fight. And again, our Slark is not in a position where he can do that safely just yet. You still have some good item timings for Tundra to meet. BKB right next for Skitter. A lot more that he can do in the middle of these fights without having to worry about the Global Silence. Divine Llama, I mean, he's been using that Harpoon to great effect. He's got his Blink up and running soon, within 30 gold. So this is where things can get a lot spicier for the side of the Hustlers. If they can get these Blink RPs, catch these key heroes together, get that control off, and help the Slark find these angles, that's where things can shine. And just line them up for the big steps from Xantic. If he can get the damage off, it is significant what the Void Spirit can do with just a few stat items up and the Echo Saber. And the full Manta now as well for Xantic to have some protection here.
Yeah, it's one of those popular items in the game right now as on top lane. They are going to catch the Keeper of the Line. Not too big of a kill, but it's a nice little bonus there for Skinner. Mid lane, a bit of a chase on 9, but he's going to be just fine to get within the fog. They won't be able to chase the Pango too far, as he also picks up a Manta style. Surprise, surprise. I mean, to be fair, you do get that added value because you are up against Silencer. Definitely very nice to purge off the Global Silencers. Xantic, Hakoda, bot lane, they do see Saksa and immediately with the jump in. They should have the Batrider, but a nice blast off there from Snaking to buy a little bit of time, and now Skitter, he's going to show up. Global Silence immediately popped. Xantic, can he get lucky? No bashes to come out for Skitter. This man cannot bash to save his life. It's Divine Llama. He's going to run. Not one TP cancelled yet by Skitter. Not once.
Very unfortunate. You know, he didn't want to have to pop the BKB and Chrono just to catch that kill, which I respect. I feel like it's probably not worthwhile to commit so much onto one hero. They still have this opportunity for Roche coming out here on Tundra with a threat of Chrono to defend this fight. And they'll just go straight into it. They've got the damage with Skitter around, 9 around as well. Without Global Sounds to threaten from Hakoda, this is a lot harder to angle yourself into. And Divine Llama did skip the blink. He's just going straight for his own Manta, it looks like, first. So without that initiation tool, it is harder to pressure Tundra in tight spots like this, and that's an early freebie for Tundra to find here. Just 2 more lives, 1 more life on one of these big cores. It just doesn't feel like you have the control. Even if you get this big blink RP, you find one of them on the Void or the Dusa. The Dusa's going to take some effort. The Void, 2 lives on him, it just feels unlikely right now that you've got the output to get that done.
Yeah, it certainly does. Another Manta coming out, now 33 has one. It's just the story of this patch, I think, John, with these universal heroes. Like, the stats that Manta provides you, it's just so worthwhile now, and this was always a great item, that's the thing. It was always an amazing item as it was, and now, with universal heroes, it's like, maybe the most valuable item is Divine Llama. It's going to be able to get away in time, so Nine going to waste the Rolling Thunder for now, but not too big of a deal. Pretty low cooldown.
Not the worst thing to give out. I mean, universal heroes, man, I swear to goodness. This reminds me, and this is going to sound really stupid, this reminds me of when Valve actually buffed up the AUG in CS. That gun was already good without the buffs. The same thing here with Universal. We get a new type when 7.33 comes out. 0.6 at that point. It gets buffed up to 0.7. It's like, alright. I mean, it was already good. People probably just slept on it. Now it's just busted. Wouldn't be surprised if down the line it just gets nerfed back down to 0.6.
No, that's very good, Jonathan. Thank you for bringing up CS as well. Just to secure our spot at TI. I appreciate it. Sure, Gaimin's very happy with your kind words. Thank you, John.
Gotta love every Valve game, you know? They're all great games.
All of them.
Left 4 Dead 3
D1
when?
Hustlers. What's that, Jonathan?
Left 4 Dead 3 when?
Yeah, that's the only Valve game I don't think I ever played. Left 4 Dead.
You've never played Left 4 Dead?
I do. Well, you know me. I get scared of these, you know, these games that are a little bit.
Mike. It's not a scary game.
It looks scary, Jonathan. I don't want to be scared when I play games.
It's fair
That's
enough.
me. I can barely play Skyrim. Try to go into a dark cave on Skyrim, I get scared, Jonathan.
That's fair.
I can't do it for Left 4 Dead.
It's fair. It's fair, Mike. I respect that with Skyrim. You know, I understand you're immersed. And this is a very immersive game as well for both sides. This is going the distance so far. Well, not that far into the distance. 25 minutes in.
Oh, nice harpoon.
Oh?
Divine Llama, he's got 33. He's caught himself a very big fish, but it may be too big. They'll commit the RP. They're just trying to get through the mana pool, but they don't have enough.
God.
Skitter's got a 3-man RP, or rather Chrono. He's caught all of them. Divine Llama's gone. Oh, you threw everything but the kitchen sink, and he doesn't even lose all his mana.
Oh. It's just Dusa. It's just too durable. You don't have anything to instantly melt the mana. You have to commit all these spells.
Can I rant for a moment as well? Like, this mana shield, damage absorbed 98%. Why did we not just make it 100? Like, I don't understand why it has to be 98%. Like the 2% that he doesn't have matters.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think it does. It doesn't matter at all.
I swear Esrports just trolling us at this point with these weird numbers. Skitter. They're gonna take the Tormentor.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, free shard coming out. More objectives to take for Tundra. 15 to 22. And I mean, this is the issue we've talked about with D1 Hustlers, man. As this game goes late, like, it feels like so much is on Shad to catch some of these bigger heroes, right? Like, pin down the Void, melt down the Dusa. Shad's still not ready to go.
No.
Still bottom network core.
I mean,
and he's gone.
Certainly not ready now, John. He's dead. Quite literally, he's 45 seconds off the map here for the Slark. It's mid lane. They are looking for a little bit more. They saw Hakoda there for a moment, but he's going to be able to force staff away. As Divine Llama is right around him as well, but Skitter might say thank you very much if you can get a 2-for-1 combo. There's your first TP cancel, by the way. Skitter finally bashing somebody through a TP. Hakoda does eventually end up going down. So Divine Llama is still sticking around, maybe looking for a harpoon target. Doesn't manage to pick off Snake King, but Skitter's just going to jump right in. They're going to find at least the Alakor, it looks like, as Snake King is somehow still alive. Blast off his terror as well. He will finally die. 9, he's been skewed into the tier 4 towers. He's taking a bit too much damage, but they try to force staff him out, swashbuckle away. He's going to be all right. Oh, Shad. He'll go for a bit of a chase on the Slark. See if he can find any kind of straggler, but they're all fine. Nine's even found a regen rune.
Radiant's bottom tower
He could just go
is
back
under
in.
attack.
Yeah. Don't worry, I mean, you forced the buyback, you forced the global sounds from Hakoda. Again, when that spell's down, Tundra's just free to do what they want. Huh?
Oh
Divide?
boy. Sucks up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, they're trying, John. They're fishing here. Divine Llama, he's going to go again. 33, can they actually take him down? Because he's just manning up. He doesn't care. Divine Llama, he's all right. He's out of there. But Chad's jumped right into the middle of everything as Saksa. He will finally go down. They've got one gone. 5 versus 4 now in the favor of D1 Hustlers. 33 is very low on mana as well, so he doesn't want to play at the moment. A nice time walk away as well from the Void. Xantic, they're going to jump in, trying to hunt him down. Skitter's still fine. He'll pop his BKB. He does also have Chrono up, but he won't throw it yet. Tundra, they're going to play it safely and just back the way out of there. Not feeling like this was a guaranteed team fight, especially 5 versus 4. D1, though, successfully holding high ground. I mean, they didn't even lose their tier 2 mid tower, to be absolutely fair.
They do a great job of holding. Good respect out from Tundra, knowing that their resources were a bit low. And they still have room to grow anyway. Might as well just farm up a little bit more. Xantic, going all in on the damage, does have the Daedalus, and we have seen his impact on the Void Spirit. He understands. There's a damage issue right now for D1 Hustlers. He has to step up. He has to be able to try to burst some of these softer targets down quickly with his steps. This is one way to get that done. So some solutions presenting themselves here on the side of D1 Hustlers. For the side of Tundra, I mean, even if you don't take high ground now, it does feel like, again, this is a game where you can afford to sit back and farm. You can afford to scale. You've got the full Hex up now on 33, so more control. That is your easy way of keeping Xantic down. So this is where things could get a bit dicey if he oversteps in the middle of these fights.
Yeah, 33 is rushing them as we speak. Like, he knows he can just lock anyone down that he wants. Hakoda, oh, he was spotted in the tree line for a second, but they aren't going to find him. They don't have the vision. Kind of the annoying thing, snaking with his mind, just giving so much information to his team. Won't pay off this time, but nevertheless, Tundra looking to maybe head down towards the south through the twin gates. They'll head towards Skitter. And it's going to be a very hard team fight for D1 to take now. Like, you've got all your spells up for Tundra. Sure, I could say the exact same thing for D1, but like one good chrono and the fight's as good as over as D1. They are moving in. 4-man smoke up. They're going to find Snaking first. Snaking, he might just take the gank for the team and he will go down. A nice start for D1. That's all they'll need. They'll back out straight away.
Yeah, side of Tundra as well respects that the team fight potential of Hustlers, if they stack their spells properly, is still significant. So they play it safe. Roshan, we're going to see the timer in a few seconds here. It is going to be a longer one at 2 minutes. There's no instant objective to take off the back of that. Tundra, though, smoked up. You mentioned all their spells are up as well.
Blink Dagger available on Saksa. He's going to find Xantic.
That's a big one.
That's a massive pick-off. Global Silence was popped, but they've got their Hex out to just lock him down at Xantic. He just can't survive. 33 will take the kill on the Medusa. And now the tier 2 mid tower is just gone.
Middle tower has fallen.
Xantic's going to have what seems to be a very hard game now every time the lasso's up. Like, lasso into sight device, you just can't survive the combo. Even bot lane now. Snaking's rushing towards Hakoda and Thea Lacour as they are going to give him information thanks to the mine. Thea Lacour, he's going to get stunned up with the blast off. He should just be dead eventually. Hakoda is sticking around, seeing if he can try to fight back, but he cannot. He'll need to run. Problem is now, Saksa is on the chase. And he is also going to go down. Tundra finding a 2-for-1. Or 2-for-nothing, excuse me.
They're just getting the 2-for-1 special, or 2-for-none special. 2 freebies being given out for them, and they're setting up for Roshan, not quite there. You do at least have the ads on Shad, but
Shad, speaking of. Backpacked away, Saksa chasing him down, but he's got the Ags up, so he does have the double pounce available. His Harpoon, Skewer, is out. RP committed to Violama, though. He's on a cliff. He is on a cliff at the moment as Saksa will push him back down with the Psychic Headband, and Xantic finishes the job instead. But now you've got the Magnus locked down. Divine Llama, he's going to try for the skewer, but can't get it off. I mean, I guess for D1 right now, they take any kill they can get, but you don't really want to drop your pos 3 for that.
You don't even want to pop RP for that. It's a costly spell to throw out there. You suddenly don't have that threat on the team fight once more for a minute and a half. Roshan respawns now as well. So, for Tundra, it's a pretty free take if they make their way down. You've got the full Scotty up and Skitter. It's got a lot of stats to play with. They'll take the gate. They're in position down bot. For the Roshan, without RP to threaten, even with the global silence up, it doesn't feel like it's going to be enough if they do take this engagement. Tundra's going to find another freebie with a cheese. And it's rough right now for the Hustlers. Like, they're doing a great job of finding some openings. This game still feels like how to burst down the Face's Void and to do so. It just doesn't feel like you have enough control. We haven't seen these opportunities to get these bigger RPs and try to get the follow-up from that, get these steps going from Exantic. They've been finding some softer targets. They've been finding individuals. But when it comes to the team fight, Tundra still reigns supreme.
Yeah, they do. Look at 33's build. Look what he's queued up. Just all day. Ah, he's playing it too. There you go. All right, 33. Full magic spellcasting Medusa. Yeah, you love to see it. I'll tell you what. Right? For the first days you saw 33, this man's become a little bit cocky, I think. A little bit cocky. I mean, it's worth it, don't get me wrong, John. It's actually pretty nice on the Deucers. Divine Llama, Skinner, he's going to get skewered back. Time walk away, Shad gonna jump in. Aegis is still up. Shadow Walk is gonna be popped as well. 9 was there with the Rolling Thunder. Skinner somehow a light threat. All this gonna go for the Chrono. He found the Slark. Shad's in trouble. They'll step in. They'll get the Aegis down. Shad, he's able to pounce away just barely. Divine Llama now with a big RP out, but the skewer's gonna be interrupted as they will lasso up the Magnus. Divine Llama gone. Sarksa getting the tip from Divine. I mean, had he not cancelled that skewer, you might have had the Void dead. But Sarksa right on target with the flame break, making sure that the skewer could not go through.
I do like what we're seeing from Hustlers, though. They're utilizing the Magnus well. They're utilizing the fact that they can displace these heroes on Tundra and take away some of that response that Tundra wants to have in these team fights. Still, you've got Cheese up on Skitter once more. He doesn't have too much to worry about. The Dagon's up as well for 3v3 now.
Sarksa, barely able to survive. Hex War's out. Shad has jumped in again. Shadow Dance has been committed. He's trying onto 33, but the blast off is out. Snaking gonna lock him down. Shad, has he gone too far? He'll get the Depth Shroud, and he'll be able to pounce away again. But Tundra, they are not done. They're still going. They want this bot Rax at least. A Skitter gonna get jumped here by Exantic, but does he care? I mean, he does basically reset, but it seems like Tundra, they want a full reset. They're going to back off once again. Wait for another day to come back. So you do have the Magnus coming up in 5, so you don't want to risk a bad team fight at the moment. And the way things are going in this game, it does feel like the Harpoon Skewer is arguably one thing that is going to give D1 a chance back into this game.
Yeah, it's their playmaking back. We see the effect when Divine Llama can drag one isolated hero all the way back, and you get the follow-through control from Shad. They've got some potential to hold this one out, but it does still feel easier to execute on the side of Tundra. They've still got massive threat. The full Dagon 5 for 33 is pretty much up and running. So he's got burst damage up the kazoo. Still, Lincoln's to protect Exantic now. Lincoln's to protect at least one hero now if need be. Gonna be a little bit harder to lock in that Void Spirit. And Exantic's been the follow-through. It's the mobility of both the Void Spirit and the Slark that has really shined through for D1 Hustlers to have this high ground hold. And it's down to Tundra to try to figure it out, because they still have this 21k lead. You've equalized to an extent here on the Hustlers' end, but Skitter and 33 are still way above everyone else here. And that still stands as your biggest issue. Like, yes, you can focus in on Skitter's one life. You can kind of take care of him, but it doesn't feel like you can take care of him and 33. Like, either one always manages to escape.
Yeah. Well, Tundra, here we go again. Oh, spells are up once again for both sides. Everyone's got their spells. Big smoke up from Tundra. Dagon 5 now available for 33. So, you know, with the illusions at the very least, any illusion that runs in is just going to get deleted. I don't think that's what 33 wants it for this game, but we'll see. As Lasso was committed, he's found an illusion. Whoopsie daisies. Nice little bait there, I believe, from Exantic. And Tundra, well, they've seen enough. They aren't the kind of team to risk it for nothing. They'll just wait for Lasso to be back up in 35 seconds.
I mean, no pressure again to force this game out yet. Hustlers still have some catching up to do, but they have been executing well with what they have. So it's really down to just finding some openings. With that spell down, I mean, that could be an opening right now, but Levi does miss.
Hex out 33 with the Dagon. So much damage being dealt here to this poor silencer, as Nine's been stuck in the little ditch there, but nevertheless her code is gone. D1. Divine Llama. Oh, skewer the wrong way, sir. That is the wrong way. They're going to jump in anyway. Shad's in to try and help out with the depth trap, but the blast off is going to hold down Divine Llama, who'll try to skewer away again, but he's got 33 with him. Whoopsie daisies. I suppose sometimes you just click the wrong way.
Yeah, no buyback and no Magnus. That's the high ground opened up for Tundra. That's where D1 Hustlers has been shining on this defense, but without the teamfight threat, you're free to just take the racks. Still have the chrono. Not too long for cooldown in the Stone Gaze. You can just kind of take this. Hustlers, they need to wait. If the Vi manages to do something on his respawn, they might be able to stall out the end. There's still a tier 2 up top at the very least to protect that top set of racks as well. So you're not going to get mega creeps off the back of this just yet.
No, they certainly are not, but Tundra going to have a huge advantage now. 2 racks is up. I mean, they could try for tier 4s if they really want to. But it seems like, again, Tundra, they're a conservative team. They'll play it safe.
Dire's bottom tower.
T2 Tower is going to be focused down here by 33, who had the boots travel up. They can just go right after the final racks, knowing that they've got still all their spells apart from Stone Gaze. But Stone Gaze is up in 4 seconds. Lasso committed. They found the silencer. That's going to be no global silence from Hakoda. And no buyback either to make matters worse. So now you've got to fight without that global silence, which is going to feel pretty impossible against the chrono of Skitter. And by the way, he has 2 of them. Hex out again. Divine Llama, this time getting caught out by 33 as 9 just moves right in with the Rolling Thunder, and now the chrono. Skitter, he found Shadow the Slug. Look at the damage output. He'll refresh, find himself another. It's going to be the Keeper of the Light. There goes the Lacour. Looking to buy back along with Exantic, but doesn't really matter. Well, they're going to find 33. Problem is they've lost their racks. Divine still trying for a skewer back. Not going to find it this time around. As 9 just jumps right in on the Pango. Maybe going a little bit far, but they've got the Mega Creeps up. Snake King's in with a blast off. Lasso's out onto Divine Llama once again, as he's going to commit a buyback. He wants to skewer back towards the fountain, but Skitter, he had the BKB going. There's your skewer back. He's found the void. There's no way out. Exantic, all of them will pick up Skitter. And now Tundra officially are forced to back their way out of this. As they even find Snaking, I believe. The techie should be dropping. He'll try for a TP play out, and he's actually going to make it.
What?
Yeah, he makes it out.
That is nutty. They just don't have the stuns. Not able to line up for the skewer back in the Vi. And they hold on, but this is Mega Creeps with a 36k disadvantage. We are seeing some shining moments again when Hustlers can play with that displacement they have on hand. They can kind of try to focus Tundra one by one, but I don't know if you're going to be able to find a room to turn this game around just yet. You need to push out.
Oh, 9 just kills off Hakoda. Rolling Thunder now popped because I believe he saw Divine Llama. Devi is just going to leave the bounty rune and TP out. Fair enough. And now 38k behind. Mega Creeps obviously incoming for D1. They are not calling it yet though. This is a team that loves to play out games no matter how bad they look. And they're certainly not out of the game yet. I mean, this is Dota after all. Bottom lane, Theala Core sucks up. Not actually going to find himself a lasso. And the Flame Break is just going to knock the Coddle away. But they do have some decent high ground defense. Problem is when you bring the numbers in from Tundra, especially when all their ults are up, like, it's going to be pretty hard to defend.
It is. Like, as long as you get a good chrono, you've always got the disruption of Stone Gaze as well. Gonna be pretty hard to fight into that. For Hustlers, again, their best bet is just trying to get this Harpoon Skewer back with Divine Llama. He's been pretty on point and giving some openings here for the side of Hustlers, but Roshan is back up with a free Ags this time around. And it is just set to fall again. A freebie here for Tundra. Can't leave that base on Hustlers with the Mega Creeps just shoving in. That should be our free Ags for 33. Unless they just hand it to Skitter, and looks like they will instead. So you've got the Bash now with a Time Walk forward. Even more control to set up for these fights. And the side of Hustlers, I mean, they've got to show us something special if they're holding out like this. And a big RP, even just a Skewer back with a Harpoon, can give you an opening. It's down to them to try and find that opening and capitalize on it somehow.
They've got to... I think if you can somehow drag Tundra towards the fountain to force the fight around the Ancient, like these skewerbacks obviously are huge from Divine Llama with the Harpoon setup, but much easier said than done. Like Tundra, after seeing Skitter die in the Radiant Fountain, I'm sure they're just like, guys, don't go near the fountain if we can avoid it. Just avoid that area, hit the Ancient safely,
Courier has been killed.
and we can just finish this game. As Tundra looking to move in, and Xantic immediately lassoed up. They break the Lincolns. Global Silence was at least pop, so Xantic, he is able to get out with the Dissimulate. And now they'll smoke up, because they know they have to try and force this fight. At least Lasso is down for 38 seconds. D1, Divine Llama, a nice skewer back into the fountain, onto the Void, but Skitter, he's got the BKB. He's going to be just fine. Keep in mind as well, he has Refresher Orb, he has Aegis up. This is not going to be the easiest pick-off in the world against this Void. There's D1 Hustlers still hanging around those tier 4 towers, looking for an opportunity. But they need Divine Llama with the skewer back. Skitter moving in, 9, he'll pop the Rolling Thunder, but he's just buying space for 33 to slowly chip away at the tier 4 towers. Skitter will jump in now as well. Both tier 4s are down. D1 have to jump in. Shad's going to try with the Shadow Dance. He'll try to move it onto the Faceless Void, but he's fine. Divine Llama in the meantime, he's going to get lassoed up by Saksa. He's got no chance, and now Skitter's in. He's onto the Keeper. Already gone. Divine Llama will get dropped as well, and now Shad gets caught out by the Chrono. It's GG. They have seen enough. It's just so hard to take the fight against Tundra. They have the better scaling draft, and once you get the high ground down, once you get the megas up, it's just going to feel impossible